Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Yeah. Actually, my background is more on the IT and information security, which was more or less the sessions which went yesterday. And I knew that today's main sessions are going to be on the what we call as physical security. But over a period of last few years, when I am with the Reserve Bank of India, looking at Reserve Bank of India and also at the banking systems, information security, I think these two cannot be any more divergent. The time has come that there is a great deal of convergence that has to take place. And that's the reason why I barged upon myself, saying that instead of yesterday, I would come today, that too early, so that we try to bridge the two things. What was the physical security things that are required, and what is the information security which we talk. When I say information security, there are many ways to look at it. And the way I would like to present it is how this convergence is a necessity and how the convergence is possible and feasible today. That will be more or less the way I would like to, the way I look at it from my experience of being in Reserve Bank of India, the information security, and also looking at the bank's information security per se. So what's generally happening is there is a great deal of shift that has taken place over the last few years. Now we cannot keep these two things differently. One to look at as a physical security and the second one to look at as information security. What used to be the asset, just for the sake of taking out an argument, what used to be an asset of, main asset of a bank is the currency that they keep inside their walls and also the instruments and all those things which were in physical form. Now, all these things were actually in the physical form. So when we talked about security of this kind of physical thing, it is like physically protecting the premises and protecting those kind of assets which were physical in nature, including whatever other things are there. But now the most of these things is converted into a digital form. Now most of the funds now no more are available really in the physical form, but they are actually in the form of a digital thing. So when we say the fund in a bank, either it is stored in the computer system or it is transferred over a network. See, it is not like carrying the currency cash over the bank. That's also happening, but that's limited compared to what happens in the form of the fund. Actually, if I say I have about 5 lakh rupees, all that is there is in the bank, in some computer, somewhere it stores that against my account there is a 5 lakh. If somebody is able to access it and make it 2 lakhs, I have 2 lakhs. If somebody accesses it and makes it 7 lakhs, it becomes 7 lakhs. So access is not to the physical thing, but access is more to the logically accessing the information, which is nothing but fund. So today, whatever we are talking of information security is strictly speaking, securing the fund itself. Even if it is a transfer takes place through mobile or internet banking or whatever means NEFT, RTGS, what is actually happening is a message gets transferred over the network. But that message, if somebody is able to tamper with and is able to change it, then the whole thing that the fund has to be transferred is not more the fund that gets transferred. This is the main shift that has taken place over the period of time. And it is becoming more and more with the mobile payments also coming into the system that no more the physical protection means actually protecting the physical asset. What we thought is not physical asset, it's a logical asset. So all of us have to look from that angle that we have to protect this information asset as importantly as the physical asset. And the target is more in information. Target is that for an attack rather than straight going into the bank. In fact, now the fund, if anybody wants it, he doesn't go and actually does a burglary. In fact, he can sit somewhere, anywhere in the world, is able to access another system, are able to tap another network, probably funds are siphoned out. This is the story that we keep listening. So what is to be secured, that's first thing, what is to be protected or secured is no more a physical, no, I won't say no more, but it's equally important. So sitting here, we have to look from that angle. That is what we are protecting is protecting a digital form of information. So digital assets have to be protected. And who has to protect it? See, traditionally, we have been looking for quite certain number of years that the physical assets are looked after by the physical security personnel who have the background how to stop people entering and how to put certain kind of restriction. That's the way that we looked at it. And we thought information security will be taken care by the IT professionals. But here there is a small catch. The IT professionals are not trained for security per se. No, typically they are trained for constructing, building new IT systems. They are not trained for that. So we brought in a different set of people called as information security people who branch out of information technology. But the right kind of mindset for protecting is not the knowledge of IT, but more the knowledge of how the attacks take place. Now, there is that kind of set of people who know how an attack takes place and what are the things to be built to ensure that these attacks are prevented rather than find a post-mortem of what has actually happened. So this is the kind of people whom we require. So it's no more those people who are like the typical security people who guard the things outside, or the IT professionals who know how to guard only the IT system. The both minds, both of them sit together and build the kind of systems that we are looking at. A lot of IT background is required for the security, and a lot of security mind is required for the IT people. It's a convergence that has to take place. So the convergence is that the physical assets and logical assets both have to be looked together for protection. And the people who are going to protect are the combination of the physical security people and the logical or the information security people. Then what are the tools that are available to protect? Typically in the physical, that's what Mr. Rao was also telling, that we look at some security people standing there, you've got entry barriers, you've got CCTVs, that's all fine. I mean, it's one kind of thing that takes place. And simultaneously, information security people look at perimeter security solutions, like firewalls, intrusion detection systems, these are all the things. But these two cannot anymore be totally different. They have to come to one single way of convergence. This convergence has to take place. And finally, how to design a system, we should not look at designing two independent systems. A system to protect information security systems, a system to protect physical security. They have to converge together and come as one combined system. And this is what actually we looked at. This is a convergence that has to take place. There is a shift that is coming in many places, and that's what I think we have to start designing. We design a security system for the enterprise, for the organization as a whole. And it is not, it's a two segregated systems like a physical security and an information security, but coming together and forming it as one. Now why I'm emphasizing this point again and again is, probably in this conference also, they put these two things together. Normally we have conferences where we have an information security conference separately going on. Rarely we have a case where we have a physical security or the other security that we are talking also people sitting. Now both the people are brought together, although on two different dates. Probably a day is not far off when the conference will be held, that all of them will sit together and look at the total design of an enterprise security systems. Now that's what is the focus that is taking place. And what is this actually designing the information security systems enterprise? What is this enterprise security management? See, one of the most important things that happens, that has to happen in any security is, you have to collect a lot of information as to what is happening. Now, this is a continuous process. We call it log collection information security. Whatever word that you want to call, whatever nomenclature we want to use is slightly different, but anything and everything that is happening should be possible to collect and logged. Now this logging, again I'll come to it, how it gets logged, but important is collection. And whatever is collected should be possible to be reported. Now when we say reporting, it is not that just goes and says this happened, that happened. It should be possible to do a lot of analysis and then finally should be able to give it as incident reporting, which we call it. And that becomes event correlation. Now why we are talking of correlation? Now something happens at the entry point, somebody has entered. And after a few minutes or while simultaneously in a system, something behaves erratically. There are two independent events if you are looking at two different systems. But if you are able to correlate it, probably there is some relation between the two. Now I'm telling very basic example, but there are several things that happen like this. Some physical thing, some logical thing, or both logical, both physical. When such events take place, there should be possible to relate those two things and say that this is not the normal thing to happen and something has to take place. And this is where it comes as pattern analysis. Now what pattern analysis does is, it knows what is a normal. It's very difficult to define a normal, but the systems, algorithms are possible to be built which says this is normal. Anything that is normal, abnormal. Not from one system alone, but for multiple systems. So you have a total control, a centralized security system which keeps taking feedback from various things, CCTVs, scanners, including the people who are entering inside, and what is happening in IT systems, whether any hacking is possible. All these things are collected together and continuously analyzed. And the final keyword is real time. It's not that this happens after the event. As the events are taking place, the entire information is collected, incidents get reported to one particular place, then they do a lot of correlation, they do a pattern analysis, and on a real-time basis, whether they are able to throw out that this is something which should not happen, immediately stop the process. It could be also automated to a great extent, or some manual intervention like alerts are sent, and then the gates are closed or whatever is required to be done. So the whole system design is now like this. Now, in fact, it's a lot of IT systems. And how this becomes possible today? Today it's much more possible because now we are talking of IP everything. Now, internet protocol, that is IP, internet everything. Now, every gadget that you are talking today is an internet-enabled gadget. And this is becoming possible because we are moving from IPv4, which has limited number of gadgets that can be given the IP address, compared to IPv6. That is the change that is taking place. Now, with IPv6, now all your gadgets at home or in office, I'm talking more about office, but a dream is there at home also. Like as you stop your car at the garage, it senses inside and the air conditioner starts on its own. You don't need to do anything. Now, because both the car and the air conditioner are smart. So once it enters, it knows that this car has come inside, so you have to start the air conditioner. So these kind of systems are possible. Now that's what is at the home which we can visualize. But much more to be done is in the organizations where any event is sensed and triggers another event which is required to be as a security conscious event. Now, this is possible because we have got a higher bandwidth or more number of machines that are connected to the internet protocol. There are smart gadgets and your buildings are very, very smart. The entries, exits, movements, everything of the people or anything else that happens is all correlated and captured. And this information system should be highly available throughout, and it should be geographically dispersed, like in a premises or multiple premises of one single organization. And then on the network itself, because the whole thing happens on networks, your CCTVs and your card readers, all those things are on the same network. So the network, and based on that, the security operations, what we call a NOC and SOC, actually they converge. In fact, there may not be anything separately called network operations, but it should be under the whole band of security operations, which will take care of all these things. Because non-availability of a network is a security issue in many cases. So it cannot anymore be treated like a physical problem. It is to be treated as a completely security problem. So convergence of network and event storage and forensic. Of course, this is a post-mortem which is equally important. So that's also part of the thing. And now we have got intelligent video analytics. Like as the video keeps playing, the movements which are normal, not normal, what is happening, all these analytics are possible simultaneously, which all become part of inputs to your entire pattern recognition, real-time analysis, and environment sensors as you keep moving. So these are all the physical new gadgets coming, but these gadgets are all IT-related gadgets. These have to come into the security consciousness of all of us. So the enterprise security management which we are talking is to be built by all the people, both from the physical security and the information security. The new gadgets and new technologies are available. We are becoming smarter and smarter. Mind you, we are becoming smarter means actually the attacker is becoming more and more smart. So our system should be such smart enough to see that the smartness of the other person is actually balanced. See, we are defending. The attacker always has an advantage compared to a defender in general. I'm telling not always, unless you have very small, in general, because you don't know when the attack is going to take place. And as they say, the attacker needs to be lucky only once, but the defender has to be lucky throughout. Now you have to defend. You have to be lucky all the attacks you have to defend. The attacker, even once he is lucky, he penetrates and the risks are very, very high. And what we are talking, particularly in the case of banking, is the entire financial system. Now, we may think that it happens one event, but that event may trigger many other events also. So, we have to think in terms of building an enterprise security management system. I generally want to focus on this particular issue. That is the 4 pillars of security. One is the governance. Now, we should think of enterprise and it should be raised to the higher levels. Security should be discussed at the top management level. I mean, sorry to say, in many of our organizations, no, it's not discussed at the level which it's supposed to be discussed. I mean, the top level top management, in fact, the board level should be, first question is, how is the security of the organization? Luckily, our governor, the first day he met, I mean, our governor, I still feel I'm with Reserve Bank. I just left it only a few days back. The first question Dr. Raghuram Rajan asked when we tried to make a presentation is, how is the security? He didn't want to know about real-time gross settlement system or anything like that. What is the security environment as the IT security? The second thing is policy. Policy should be integrated. You don't have separate policy for physical security and separate policy for information security. Systems, as I was telling, should converge. And most important is awareness. Now, that's where the biggest challenge comes. It should be all-inclusive. That means everybody, insider, outsider, anybody who interacts with the system should know that these security measures are there and they are for the good of the system. This is something which each organization and the conferences like this should be able to tell everybody the case is that. Yeah, just finishing. Now, challenges. Actually, physical security itself is a problem. So information security is much more difficult to handle. And we have to build up security officers and IS officers. That's a convergence is a challenge. More so because the physical assets like ATMs are spread across, which we have to take care. And top management role is very, very crucial. So this is the biggest challenge that has to take place. And what we are trying to do is look at all the 4 pillars and see if we can build a risk asset. So finally, I say what we need to build are digital fortresses. We need to have our both physical and information assets, a fort around it, which is actually a digital fort, supported by the necessary human resources that are there. I think this is a convergence which we need to talk. Look at the physical and the information security from the point of view of physical people and IT, and build with these 2 things a good digital fortress. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any questions? So you may like any questions? We can have 2 or 3 questions, please. Please. Don't worry about the mic. You're loud enough.